You are now tuned in to F.U.L podcast show, where family unites listeners and listeners become family. Now allow me to introduce your host, Cornelius James and Mr. Info Joe. And oh yeah, F.U.
Common talk deserves a walk. Common talk deserves a walk. Common talk deserves a walk. Commentating, illustrating.
We created this podcast for the people, for the common that's not represented. But now we got a voice. Yeah, now we got a voice.
F.U.L podcast show. F.U.L podcast show. F.U.L podcast show.
F.U.L podcast.
That's right.
F.U.L podcast.
Doing it to you in your ear.
I said F.U.L podcast.
That's right. Coming at you.
Yes, sir. Okay, listen, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Cornelius James, and some people know me as Black or Black Knight, but, I'm born and raised in South Central. I still work a 9 to 5, got to pay the mortgage, meals, and bills,
Right.
Mr. Info Joe, tell the people a little bit about yourself. Well, first of all, let me tell y'all, he's my brother from the same mother. Now, tell our cyber fans something about yourself, man.
That's right, ladies and gents. This is Info Joe dropping knowledge and common sense. From LA, by the way. I just want to say thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy this experience. You can be doing a whole lot of other shit. Thank you for choosing F.U.L podcast.
All right, y'all, and we do appreciate that a lot. Now, listen, I've been listening to podcasts for like a couple of years now. Some for informational purposes and others for, entertainment and whatnot. And just for my pastime. And I realized that, you know what? Nobody really, entertains us, or rather, nothing's done for us. So, one day I was thinking, like, how come there is no podcast that's targeted toward, this common folk like ourselves, To the people. Would you say power to where?
The people.
Because we got, issues and situations and concerns and opinions, but they not getting heard, Then a light bulb went up like, bing, and also bam. And I said, okay. I chopped it up with Joe and I said, we need to do something, And that's when F.U.L podcast. F.U.L podcast was born, right? And, and it stands for Family Uniting Listeners. But, my favorite acronym, I call it, fuck you, listen,
That's right.
So listen, y'all, we're going to take y'all on a ride. And we appreciate it if you just buckle your seatbelts, because this will not be like any other podcast you've ever heard. All productions done by me. Me and my brother, we do deep research or whatnot. It's going to get heavy. It's going to be light. It's going to be
right.
So, roll with us, but tighten up your seatbelt and allow us to take a small commercial break, and we're going to get back to y'all with some content, some topics,
That's right.
Anything you want to say, Info Joe, before we go to this commercial?
Oh, no, man. I'm ready to get busy.
Let's get busy.
Let's get busy. That's right. F.U.L
podcast show. F.U.L podcast show. F.U.L podcast show. F.U.L podcast show. F.U.L podcast show.
This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother,
Mr. Info
Tell
Joe.
them the truth, Joe! Tell them the truth!
Mr. Info Joe.
Yo, tell them the truth, yo! Tell them the truth!
Mr. Info Joe.
Yo, tell them the truth, yo! Tell them the truth!
All right, we're back. Now, for this first segment of Info Joe, we're going to be talking about the Mike Brown verdict and the death of the young brother. But before we do that, we just want to give you a little background on the city of Ferguson. It's a small town outside of St. Louis. Now, St. Louis and Ferguson has a long history of racial segregation, economic inequality, and overbearing law enforcement. Now, which has produced much of the tension that we see today. This has been building way before the Mike Brown shooting.
Yeah.
St. Louis has been the nation's most segregated city in the U.S. Trip about that shit? I didn't even know that.
I didn't know you.
Now, there remains a high wall between black residents who are overwhelmingly lower income and a white power structure that dominates the city councils and the police department. Blacks account for 86% of the traffic stops and 93% of the arrests. Now, mostly white police force stops blacks far out of the proportion to the population, according to the statistics kept by the state's Attorney General office. I think that's some shit.
Yeah, see, that's statistics, you know, and that's their paperwork, and that's their demographics. You go ahead and start, brother. Continue, Joe. Continue on.
Now, we have the Mike Brown shooting, or should we say murder. We have the Trayvon Martin shooting, or should we say murder.
Murder.
Yeah. Then we have the Eric Gardner, the brother that was choked to death by the New York Police Department. We have the LeVar Jones, the brother that was shot reaching for his driver's license when the police told him to get his driver's license. He turned around with his hands up and the motherfucker still shot him.
Yeah.
We have Marlene Pinnock, a 51-year-old being beat down like an MMA fighter by the CHP down there on La Brea in LA, off the freeway, off the 10. Now, out of those 5 tragic events, only one officer has been charged. And I said just has been charged, but not convicted. It's still going through the court process.
Like that.
Still about that Black Knight.
Well, you know, the trip, listen, cyber fam out there, we had not mentioned the 12-year-old that got shot, you know, with the toy gun, and that the 911 call also said that it's possibly a fake gun. I mean, we've mentioned
Cleveland, right?
Oh, pardon me, what state?
That was in Cleveland, I think that was, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And then we had a young brother that got shot in L.A. that was, everyone knew that, you know, had some mental handicaps, you know, slightly slow, and everybody knew it. And they
shot him in the back. I mean, yeah.
So I say this to say this: if we forgot any of the recent incidents, please forgive us, you know. But we're trying to get to the point for everyone to understand that we pissed off about a lot of shit, you know.
Right.
So me and my brother, we really wanted to pose a few questions to ask you what you thought the decision about Ferguson was going to be. But unfortunately, they delivered it before our time span, so we missed it. But now we recorded a sequence of phone calls from some of our supporters. And we have to change this whole segment to the venting section. So we just got a slew of folk. We couldn't...
all of our F.U.L. listeners.
Yes, all the F.U.L. listeners. We couldn't put all of them on. So bear with us. Right after this break, we're going to let them all this vent. And they're pissed off and so many different reasons. So bear with them, listen to them, and next time we want to hear you, okay? We appreciate you. Right. All right. This is Cornelius Black, and that's my brother. What's your name?
Info Joe.
All right. We love y'all. Please keep supporting us, and enjoy the show.
F.U.L. Podcast Show. F.U.L. Podcast Show.
It is important to note here and say again that they are the only people who have heard and examined every witness and every piece of evidence. They discussed and debated the evidence among themselves before arriving at their collective decision. After their exhaustive review of the evidence, the grand jury deliberated over 2 days, making their final decision. They determined that no probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson.
There you go.
No
probable cause. Did we really expect that we're going to find something else when the government investigates itself and does it secretly at a grand jury? We've seen the fox guarding the hen house over and over again. Whether it's the Gitmo torture reports or whether the CIA torture reports are being held up in the Senate, or whether it's the NSA, always the government is the one that investigates itself, does it in secret, and as you heard, he said they are the only ones who have seen all of the evidence.
Willie Dynamite.
Yeah, Willie Dynamite. This is a post-Ferguson verdict, and we've been now. What you got to say, Willie Dynamite? Cornelius James here. You motherfucker.
I got to say,
you know?
all officers, but especially the black ones first. Y'all go first. Y'all go down first just for riding with these motherfuckers. And then, like I said, rather than hit the officers first, all y'all families go. Show you how that shit feels. Make you motherfuckers the motherfucking first. And then come for you while you're mourning. Dorner on mine.
Dorner, huh? Hey, man. Motherfuckers try to make us sound like we savages for even talking like this, but y'all doing it. Y'all killing kids. You just killed a 12-year-old kid. All right, we're live right now on F.U.L podcast, and I got Bernie D, which is a cousin of mine, and we post Ferguson, the verdict, and I want to let you, I'm calling this whole section the vent section. Just vent, and you tell how you feel. There's no wrong opinion, it's just yours. So Bernie D, how you feel about, how the things played out, just recently, last night?
Well, to be honest with you, you shouldn't be surprised. This is the history of this country. And all the violence, all the burning, all the beating and the getting angry and carrying on. I understand that that's how you're expressing yourself, but it doesn't address the issue and it doesn't solve the issue. You have to find a way of solving the issue. Unfortunately, the only way that we can attempt to solve the issue is by voting. And let's face it, you can't trust politicians either. But you can determine who's in office and if their views match or agree with yours. Okay, but whose shit are you tearing up? Is it their shit or is it your shit? Is it shit that you use every day? Is it shit that you need to survive? Is it shit that you need to go to on a regular basis? You have to travel outside of town to get this so-called shit. I would say stuff, shopping, merchandise, whatever you want to call it. Your needs, your daily necessities, the stuff that you need to survive, you're taking away from yourself. You're not taking it away from anybody else. So that's which takes me back to my first point. Who's in office? Where are the city council meetings being held? Why aren't you there? This has been this country's history for decades. You should have already been on a different wagon saying, okay, we need to get this fool out of here. We need to get this fool out of here. We need to make sure we change this. We need to make sure we change that, because I promise you, what we want, we're not going to get unless we act on it ourselves. Burning our stuff down is not acting on it. That's just saying I'm mad. I get that. You got a right to be mad. I'm pissed off. I'm extremely pissed off. But I'm looking at who's the deputy DA, who's the district attorney, who's the mayor. Those are the people you go after. And you don't just go after them in Ferguson. You go after them when they leave Ferguson and they try to have their political careers somewhere else. You remind the public of who these people are.
Benny Mac.
Juan Williams. It's him and there's another one. Juan Williams is the man that's sitting up there. Here you got the interpretation of the law that states that, man, you killed the innocent You shot a man that was unarmed, and you never go to trial. Come on, man. So whatever interpretation you told that grand jury, we never had an opportunity for them to see another side of the testimony, of the evidence. You said this white man got on TV. You know what tripped me out, man? When that man read that verdict, did you see how he was so plain with it? No emotions whatsoever.
No compassion.
Like you knew you was not going to prosecute this man. Nobody said that. And then, man, come on, man. I mean, it's just heartbreaking, man, to the point to where you say to yourself, what we gonna do? How many more voices we gotta go to? Enough is enough. You know, come on, let's keep it real. How many more times we got to go beg you at your motherfucking feet for justice? We got to knock on your door for justice. Man, stop it. Come on, man. You see, the saddest part about this whole situation, all them black folks talking, nigga, they been selling you for 400 years. They sold you like you was their property. You was the reason why they was rich. The reason why America got capitalism because of slavery. So then all of a sudden now, after 4 years, you so supposedly freed me, but you never see me as a human being.
Diggs on the phone, good friend of mine. And first question I want to ask you is, what do you think about your decision?
Ferguson's decision, I feel not too happy.
Yeah.
Not too happy, not at all. And after watching the verdict, that's just too much, though. They always try to find some other reason to be justifiable, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
For the officer or something. I don't know. You know what I mean, though? So my solution to me is, man, to be truthful, just a boycott. Just the holidays. We gotta hurt their pockets. We hurt their pockets where in some cases probably pockets and purses or wallets and purses and stuff like that. But for corporate, it's the bank. You know what I mean? We can hurt their pockets by just boycotting holidays. I'm not saying boycotting buses or boycott this and that. Basically, it's really not a boycott. You know what I mean? For black folks, history proves a lot to me, and we haven't been free long enough for us to really even celebrate none of these holidays. You know what I mean? Even when the first Super Bowl came, you know what I mean? I think we didn't have equal stuff then. You know what I mean? The Super Bowl today, Tom, it's a holiday.
F.U.L. Podcast Show. F.U.L. Podcast Show. F.U.L. Podcast Show. F.U.L. Podcast Show.
I have my cousin on the line right now, and he goes by the name of MD. And I want to invite him and, welcome him to the F.U.L. podcast show. And I hope you do too. He has a very unique story and also a unique point of view of the Ferguson verdict in the state of Black of America. So first of all, let's welcome MD. How you doing, man, today?
Oh, I'm doing good today, Black. How about yourself, bro?
Fucked up. I've been drinking since this morning and, shit. I was watching Fox and CNN. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers here,
F.U.L. Podcast Show.
Yeah. I feel you. Although, I can't partake in the drink this early, but I wish I could. Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, it's been kind of hectic.
Well, here, okay, well, let's just, take it from what do you think about the Ferguson decision,
Well, man, first of all, I gotta say, I my heart and my prayers go out to Michael's mom then, and I know everybody say that, but I lost a son 4 years ago too, so I understand what they're going through. Second of all, man, this ain't nothing new in our neighborhood, man. Well, when I say neighborhood, I might as well go global, say the world. These incidents, they happen all too many times, often, you know.
Yeah.
And I think you know, we can talk about a lot of stuff, you know, like you know, how do us at the police state hire cowards as police is. We could go there, you know. We could go to you know, less lethal use of force. Oh man, there's so many things we can say about.
Well, you know, just you know, because I like you to voice your opinion. You just tell me your opinion right now. What do you think about the verdict, man? The verdict.
I think it was all BS. You know what I mean? And I think it proves that we live in a place to where a lot of racism still exists. You know, and it's a lot of let me figure the right word out there. A lot of
Take your time, brother. We got a whole motherfucking day. This is
right.
F.U.L. podcast.
Okay.
For y'all, some people like to hear it stand for family, uniting listeners. But the other thing I like to say, my other acronym is fuck you, listen.
Oh, you know? Okay. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Take your time. We ain't in no rush.
Yeah, you know, so, you know, by design, a lot of racism and everything, and it's geared toward, you know, us people that are our color, you know what I mean? I don't care what color you are, yellow, and you ain't white. Sometimes, you know, they brainwash these police and think you ain't right. So we've been dealing with that, you know, ever since our grandparents, you understand me, got free of their slavery.
Oh yeah, it is definitely a melanin issue. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, but go ahead, continue on, Mr. MD. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, and it's a coward. It's a coward that, you know, hides behind a badge, you know, and you know, feels threatened to the point to where he don't get out of his car and discharge his weapon almost to the point to where he hurt himself, you know, ricochet from the car door could have killed his dumb ass. So, you know, I don't know, you know, it's the way that we screen these people and we bring them into, you know, which is a tax-paying job, and I got to remind everybody that we pay the taxes for it. You know, I don't understand how it is that we just don't all get together and just Natasha Harlem's and all the rest of the black kids.
Oh, yeah. Let me correct you. Natasha Harvey, because we... Harvey, no disrespect. Yeah, no doubt. The little baby girl died from an orange juice. You motherfucker cute. You know, I don't remember. I remember when the woman got off on probation, that kind of shit. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, the shit is so prevalent, man. I don't even put names to the faces no more. To me, they all just my kids, just like my kids, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, it's a humbling experience when you lose a kid, and really the kid don't have to go nowhere. You got preachers, you understand me? They not even preaching from the clergy no more. The unity no more. They go ahead and saying that, you know, hey, wait a minute, this wasn't right. This wasn't supposed to be, you know. Yeah, God do got plans, but, you know, this was one of these things that could have been prevented. So, you know.
Okay, not to cut you off, but basically, you're not in agreement to that decision either, right?
Man, shit, man. The bear shit in the wood and wipe his ass on the tree.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck, yes. No, fuck him. Fuck, I know, so we got that, but I want to tap into something that's dearly to me. I mean, when you called me today and you knew what I'm trying to embark on, I said, you know, I talked to, like I said, 11 people already. I said, this will be the first one. The first, before I let my folks vent, is because this is dear to me too. My nephew, I loved him dearly. You know, college-bound kid. Didn't make the news like the Michael Brown, you know. But he's, you know, one reason why, he gets his gunned down by a nigga. It ain't no big deal no more. I mean, that's not news, huh? You know. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up and allow you to expound on it and tell me what you think, you know, about how the hell gets raised for the Ferguson thing because a white man did it, but shit, a black man killed Marquise.
Yeah, man, that's another thing. You know, when when something happens to you in the nature of losing a kid, like the Michael Brown parents and everybody, you know, like I say, I don't put names no more. I mean, just us black people, you know, being young and losing young kids, it's beyond humbling. You know, you start changing your thought patterns. You know, I'm a guy that's a product of South Central LA. You know, I'm gang bang. I did it all before, you know, and now I'm indifferent about, you know, the way I think, the way I feel, the way I live. Man, it's a shame that we look at the police to be our number one enemy. And it's not a fact. You know, yeah, you know, they kill us, you know, more than from time to time, but all the time, you know, but our number one enemies are us. We need to look in the mirrors, you know what I mean, at our sons, daughters, nephews, nieces, you know, the ones that ain't educated about this disease that's being replayed out the Bible called leprosy, how black folks are almost extinct right now, and we killing each other, and the numbers ain't came up this year, but back in, I think, 13, it was 65% of black folks died behind gang violence, and that means the hands of each other's by color. Man, there's so much knowledge out there, and there's so much information that us, as a black folk, we already know, you know. And
whoa. Let me just cut you off for a second, if you can, Mr. MD.
Yeah, go ahead.
I grew up with you. We was with the hood. Anything moving around disrespectful, we would move on it, right?
Right.
We were more hustlers than anything, but we didn't hunt black men. If they brought it to us, they got it.
Right.
We wasn't the killers that out there hunting other little young brothers and killing them. So you know that I wasn't that guy in that way. But
right.
You will buck at anybody or anything moving that was disrespectful.
Right.
We was about money, Mo. Now, so saying that you did play a part, but at the same time, you didn't play that part. You know what I'm saying? And tell them a little bit about Marquise, man. Tell them a little bit about Marquise.
Well, man, first of all, the dude was exceptional, man. When he was born with teeth in his mouth. You know, I don't know. Some people say that it was a sign that he was going to be intelligent, because the numbers on it was like winning the lottery. And second of all, he followed that pattern. The dude had a 3.0 and a little bit bigger all the way up till he reached into college. He was in college, you know, came back to get his car, and had a vision of him being shot. A month later, you know, when he come back to get his car, he was shot. His vision was portrayed, man, and you know, like I say, it's been only 4 years ago, but I do have to say that we need to look at ourselves, and we need to start changing each other's minds about how senseless and how easy it is just to kill another brother, or just to you know, help wipe our race from the face of this earth one day, if not possible. I mean, it's possible. You know, we take the time to get together and tear the city up because the police cause injustice, you know, and they just following the pattern, you know. They killing folks that they think don't care about each other anyway. See, these are the things that we got to address on an everyday basis. You know, maybe we got to go back to using some of the old school methods, you know, eye for eye. I think as simple as you treat a person how you want them to treat you, and everything else will weed itself out.
Well, Mr. MD, here's a quick question. How's the investigation ever went?
Man, let me tell you.
4 years. It's 4 years, and I'm going to ask you how the investigation went.
Man, I'm going to tell you something about our system, and we seen it when the verdict came in. The system is designed automatically to sweep certain incidents right up under the rug. See, they created this thing called a statistic, and they already got in their mathematical minds how many of us is going to be one. And, you know, we can talk about that because they shape it so they can cause this to be a reality, but this is a whole new different segment. The key to it is for us as a people to stop acting like all white folks and clans, Hatfields and McCoys, and understand that this was designed through the man, if you will, to have us kill each other and stop doing this shit for 30, 40, 50 years like a disease out of the Bible. Understand that we need to plunge our race again. Shit, we need to be like let me see what them boys call over there in Utah, you know, when they got all damaged, they had to start sleep with each other's cousins and all this shit. You playing the same race. Yeah, Mormons. Shit, we almost got the need to act like Mormons in the sense of what they call it? Shit, because our numbers are low, bro.
Yeah, and we're low on total.
Our numbers are low, and you know, and it's just all bullshit in the design. And right now, last time I checked, these OG gang members and shit like that, they my age. And most of them are not ignorant. Most of them should be able to understand that it's time to make a legacy and stop killing each other. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When it's their sons and daughters or something like that, nephews, aunties that end up dead, you know, it's a humbling experience, you know. And some people, you know, don't know what to do after it. You know, some people ain't able to talk like I'm talking right now. You know, it consumes them, you know. And somebody once said, you know, death's not really the baddest trauma. It's what happens to us while we living with it.
F.U.L. podcast
Brooklyn,
show.
New York, unarmed. November 25th, 2006, Sean Bell, Queens, New York, unarmed. January 1, 2009, Oscar Grant, Oakland, California, unarmed. January 29th, 2010, Aaron Campbell, Portland, Oregon, unarmed. July 18th, 2011, Alonzo Ashley, Denver, Colorado, unarmed. March 7th, 2012, Wendell Allen, New Orleans, Louisiana, unarmed. September 14th, 2013, Jonathan Farrell, Charlotte, North Carolina, unarmed. July 17th, 2014, Eric Garner, Staten Island, New York, unarmed. August 9th, 2014, Michael Brown, Ferguson, Missouri, unarmed. In the past decade alone, these men and hundreds of others have lost their lives to police. Local police report to the FBI killing at least 400 people a year. From 2006 to 2012, a white police officer killed a black person at least twice a week in this country. Which brings us back to Ferguson, Missouri, where, according to a report in the Daily Beast, in 2009, police officers charged a man for property damage because he bled on their uniforms while they arrested him and allegedly beat him bloody. Ferguson, Missouri, where it took 6 days to release the name of an officer who shot an unarmed teenager to death. Ferguson, Missouri, where police released images of someone who might be Michael Brown involved in a store robbery, and then hours later said the robbery had nothing to do with why Michael Brown was stopped by the police officer who killed him. Ferguson is just outside St. Louis, Missouri, the place where, as historian Blair Kelly reminded us this week in The Root, Dred Scott sued for his freedom on the grounds that he and his wife had for many years lived in a free state. His case eventually went to the Supreme Court, and in 1857, Chief Justice Roger Taney declared that Scott had no right to sue because, as a black man, he was never intended to be an American. Speaking on the clause in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal, Taney wrote, quote, "It is too clear for dispute that the enslaved African race were not intended to be included and formed no part of the people who framed and adopted this declaration." And he went on to say that black men had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. No rights which the white man was bound to respect. No rights which the white man was bound to respect. No rights which the white man was bound to respect.
Yes. It's Info Joe again. And this concludes our Ferguson segment. I just want to say thank you to all of our F.U.L callers. I've learned a lot from you all. May peace be with you. Here's some wisdom, or should I say, food for thought. Anything lost can be obtained again, except time and life. So use it wisely. Peace. Signing off.
F.U.L Podcast Show